Every single one of them are so unique. Meanwhile, this unique faceplate over here, this was actually the inspiration for the thumbnail of this video. It simply screams, please be gentle, it is my first time. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven from X-Krogane Studio, and today I have a scale figure review. Not just any ordinary figure. In my opinion, this is the flagship figure of Apex Toys for year 2024, 1/7 scale New Jersey wedding dress version from Azur Lane. And when I say flagship, well, figure companies, they don't explicitly say it like this particular figure is their flagship of the year. Usually, every figure company has at least one every year. Alter, for example, their Arc Knights Schwartz, 45,000 yen. Yeah, that is their best of the year. Was it last year or this year? I can't remember, but that is just one example. At the time of recording, this is Apex Toys' most expensive and most ambitious scale figure to date. 43,000 yen international or Japanese price. Will you pay 40k plus for an Apex Toys figure? You are about to find out. But before that, I know you have one very important question, right? Will she fit in my D12? The answer is yes. Okay, so the height, including the bunny ears over here, 35 centimeters. The width, right to left or vice versa, 36 cm also. The depth, front to back, 38 cm. And I believe the internal dimensions of an IKEA D12 is around 40, right? So she will barely fit. Yeah. What about the newer IKEA shelves like the Blali Dane? I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly. That one is quite a little bit smaller. I'm not sure if this will fit inside Bin Laden. Yeah. So, I don't have any D12s in my studio, right? But I know that D12s are quite a bit bigger than the newer ones. But that is one thing to think about before you buy this figure. She might not fit inside your shelf. Moving on to the pricing, once again, international price 43,000 yen, but the China price is always cheaper for Chinese brand figures. That is where I got this figure from. One of the sellers over in Taobao. You can get it from Apex Toys flagship store in Taobao or Bilibili or anywhere else you prefer. Quite a few thousand yen cheaper. I think it was like 1700 or 1800 Chinese yuan around that, and that is a few thousand yen cheaper than Japanese price. In combination with my geographical location in Southeast Asia, shipping cost is a lot cheaper for me when I ship from China instead of from Japan, where the carton box of this thing is 50 centimeters cubic. Expensive shipping. So shipping from China alone saved me a few thousand yen extra, which is why I got this figure from China. It was like a no-brainer. And if you want to follow my way of saving money, you want to try getting figures from China, but you can't communicate in Chinese, you can't read Chinese, then I can recommend you guys the proxy shipping service Superbuy, which I have mentioned a couple of times by now. Yes, this is a Taobao shipping agent or purchase agent. You just copy and paste the link of the item you like into their search bar. However, there is one thing I would like to recommend to you. A new service that Superbuy has just launched about a couple of weeks ago, a value-added service, where after a parcel arrives at your warehouse, they will take 3 photographs and provide it to you. So you get to see what the condition of a parcel looks like. However, you can also pay a small fee to get more high-resolution photographs taken of the product you have just purchased. Is the figure in good condition? Any damage? Yeah, you can request for more photographs. Each photograph will only cost you 2 Chinese yuan. And they will provide you the images you requested within 24 hours. If they are late, you can request for compensation up to 10 times the amount. There is no harm signing up for a free Superbuy account, right? And if you're interested, please make use of my QR code on screen or make use of the link in the description below to sign up. And thanks a lot Superbuy for sponsoring today's figure review of this Azur Lane New Jersey figure by Apex Toys. Getting back to this figure over here. Last week, you guys saw me unbox this figure for the very first time. And since then, I have discovered a couple of new things which I need to share with you guys because it is important. The first thing is regarding her veil over here, right? I received a very good question from you. Will there be paint transfer issues, I mean, you put the veil on her head, you remove it when you need to change the faceplate. This frequent friction, will it result in paint transfer? The answer is no, because this is injection molded PVC, rubber-like PVC, where the internal surface is completely unpainted. On the outside, you can see some paint on top here and decal work. So it is perfectly safe to remove this wheel and put it back on the head multiple times, as many times as you want. There won't be any paint transfer. That is the good news. But I also have bad news. You know, I had to film a few videos of this video with the different faceplate over here, which means I am removing her head and her hairpiece over and over again a few times, and since then, this wheel has become a bit loose, kind of loose. You see, it is now just sitting on her head over here. Back then, my first time unboxing the figure, this headpiece will snap into her head, you know, like a nice pair of gloves, but now it is just sitting on her head. Is it a problem? Not really, because it is very stable. It won't fall off very easily. So I don't think this is a big issue, but if it concerns you, you can always use a heat gun or a hair dryer to soften this material, and then you try to bend it whichever way you want, right? If you are courageous enough to do it. For me, I wouldn't bother. This is fine, really. It makes it easier for me to swap out the face parts when I want to do so. The second thing I noticed is that there is only one single round metal foot peg over there, and the foot peg is round. It is not square or rectangular, which means the figure can actually rotate around the center axis, you know. It is a bit weird because most figure companies will find ways to prevent that. And the only way to prevent that is that there is another peg on a hair, which I did not notice last week, right? There is another plastic peg on a hair where you plug into the base somewhere over here. I did not bother because I don't care. And yeah, removing her wedding dress over here will require you to unplug the figure from the base, and the pegs are not very tight. The fitting is just nice, so it is not difficult. If you want to put the figure back into the base, very easy as well, right? No ultra tight parts over here to deal with. So overall, this figure's assembly process is a very pleasant experience, just that this wheel will become loose over time because of the nature of this flexible material. Yeah. And moving on to the sculpting department of this figure, this is hands down the best wedding dress figure I have ever laid my hands on, or even my eyes on, including the ones I've seen being displayed in figure stores, in exhibits, you know. This is the best looking one simply because of the sheer amount of details that was being carved into her wedding dress. It is just so exquisite. Personally, I have never been a fan of wedding dress figures because they feel like low-effort products that are easy money grabs, you know. Wedding dresses require a lot of material. They make the figure very expensive, yet the figure is often completely in white color and they don't look very detailed, which is why I am not a fan of wedding dress figures. But this figure over here redefined my expectations of what wedding dress figures should look like. Yeah. I guess there is a first for everything. So the sculpting department is outstanding. Like, I have no idea how many parts there are for the wedding dress alone. All of these are separate parts that are being glued together. A lot of effort being put into her dress over here. Fantastic. And all I can show you how good this figure is via all these close-up video footages that I have taken. Now, moving on to the face department, this is, in my opinion, the main feature of this figure, where you get 3 additional face parts. A total of 4. This feels like buying a Figma or a Nendoroid even. And that is fantastic for a scale figure, yet at the same time, I don't see anyone buying 4 figures. Yeah, 4 of the same exact figures just to display it with a different faceplate, right? 3 faceplates does feel a little bit excessive for this reason, but at the same time, you know, brands like Kotobukiya, just for one single faceplate, they will slap an online exclusive label on it. So I am certainly not going to complain about the generosity of Apex Toys over here. Among the 4 faceplates, which one is my favorite? Last week I said that this winking eye faceplate is my favorite, but since then I have changed my opinion because this winking faceplate is so common. Like my FGO Astolfo, you bought the Kotobukiya exclusive version, they have a faceplate like that. Same thing for Miyamoto Musashi, so it does not feel special anymore. The one I have over here, this is my favorite one at the moment. Yeah, the Kirara eye shining faceplate, very nice. Meanwhile, this unique faceplate over here, this was actually the inspiration for the thumbnail of this video. It simply screams, please be gentle, it is my first time. I'll leave it to you to interpret what that means. Yeah, I forgot to mention this, but I need to bring it up once again. You get a marriage certificate with this figure and also an acrylic standee over here. All of this included for 40 plus thousand yen. Excellent deal. I'm not sure why people like stuff like this, but apparently some figure collectors do care. And one of you reminded me of a Sonico wedding dress figure by Good Smile from a number of years ago, which came with wedding rings. Like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. Thanks for bringing it up, by the way. So apparently some hardcore sims or whips, they actually care about these kind of things. I'm not sure why. I don't really care for stuff like this, but nice to have, I suppose. Overall, the sculpting on this figure is an excellent 9.5 out of 10. The reason why it did not get a full score was because the veil became loose over time, like within 1 week. Yeah. And one more thing to point out is these golden color bits behind her veil over here. I was so impressed when I first saw it. They are real metal, by the way. Yeah, they look like man-made jewelry of some kind. So be very careful when you handle it. Yeah, you wouldn't want to break them or accidentally distort or bend them. Yeah, they are very thin metal films of some kind. That is a nice touch and it makes the figure feel even more expensive. Moving on to the paint work, I was trying really hard to look for flaws because the expectations was really high for a figure like this given the asking price. You know what? I just couldn't take my eyes off her hair when I removed her veil over here. There is something special about her blue color hair over here, which is made of translucent material. You can see it at the very edges of her hair strands, yet there is so much heavy shading on the paintwork on the outer surface that no matter where you look, from right, from left, along the side over here, all the way to the base, her hair is such an amazing thing to look at. It is so beautiful, man. Like the most beautiful blue color hairs I've seen on an anime figure. I'm not I'm not joking over here, right? I was really impressed. And then you get more shading on her wedding dress all over the entire figure. No quality control issues spotted on my copy of this figure. No paint scratches, no paint bleeding, no paint transfer, no ugly seam lines or leaking glue, things like that. None of that. So paint work is a brilliant 9.5. Let's give it 10 out of 10. It is just that good. One last thing is regarding the base of this figure. It feels like marble finish in a way, and it is very high quality, very thick and heavy plastic. It even puts my E-Stream or Alpha Satellite Lancer Ultra to shame. No, that big Lancer Ultra FGO figure by E-Stream from a couple of years ago. I liked that base a lot, but that base also felt cheap. It felt hollow and flimsy. This thing is solid thick plastic, man, and very heavy. Way heavier than that Lancer figure's base. This is as good as it gets for the base of an anime figure as long you have the space. This is a 10 out of 10 base. Overall, this is a figure that pushes Apex Toys to rank A or A plus tier. And if you give them another year or two of perfect consistency with their quality control, they are pretty much S tier figure brand at this point. Yeah, they are almost there. You know, back then, 3 years, 4 years ago, they released their first Genshin figure Klee that wasn't very good. The first release, there were QC issues. They slowly got better, and this is like their peak, their best at the moment. They are about to get a lot better as long as they maintain the QC. And for that reason alone, despite the high asking price, she comes as highly recommended. Yeah, just throw that cash on your computer screen. So if you found this review to be helpful or informative, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. As usual, thank you very much for watching this review all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.